Hello, hello, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name's Emily, and today is another weekly reading vlog. So this is another new releases vlog. I just did 4 anticipated thrillers last week, and this week I'm going to be doing 4 more anticipated reads that have just come out, and I don't have one yet, so we're gonna go through those books real quick. I don't know what order I'm reading them in other than the book I'm starting with because I don't have the 4th one right now, but we'll see. I will be starting this vlog with A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I'm so excited for this book. Basic premise is this girl gets trapped in this town that is based off of her favorite book series, and from there, she finds out that like the story to save the town may be her love story, and it may be with the grumpy guy that owns, I think, a bookstore. Yes, a bookstore. So very excited about this. There's a lot of book references in this, and I've loved Ashley Poston's books, so I'm very excited to get this one read. I will also be reading Leather and Lark by Brynne Weaver. This is the 2nd book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. The 3rd book was actually just announced. I think it comes out in February. Sparrow and Scythe, I want to say. So I'm excited for that one. But this follows Lachlan Kane and Lark. And he's like a contract killer, I think, and she's a musician, and I believe they have like a relationship of convenience. I don't know that it's a marriage of convenience. Yep, it is a marriage of convenience. A marriage of convenience trope. I loved the 1st book. Lachlan is the older brother of our main character from the 1st book, the male main character from the 1st book, and Lark is the best friend of the female main character from the 1st book. And I just loved that book. It was like the funniest dark humor rom-com book I've ever read, and I'm hoping that this is on track with that. I also have Lauren Asher's newest release, Love Unwritten. This is the 2nd book in the Lakefront Billionaire series. The 1st book was Love Redesigned, and I loved that book. I think I gave it 4.5 stars, 4.75, I can't remember, but I adored that book. So I'm very excited to get into this. The premise of this is a single dad nanny trope, and there's travel involved, and I am so excited to get into this because I think I'm going to love this series. I enjoyed her Dreamland Billionaire series, but so far, after even just one book, I can tell I'm gonna like this series better. And then the book that I don't have. So those are 3 romances. I also have Reckless by Lauren Roberts coming, and that should be releasing in 2 days from today. Today is Sunday. Tuesday, that book should be at my house, Amazon. I'm going to start A Novel Love Story tonight, so I may get that finished tomorrow. It's not a very long book. I have a feeling I'm going to fly through it, so if I get that finished Monday, I probably will start a different book tomorrow in order to get me into having Reckless at the house, but as soon as I have that one, it will be getting read. So it will not be the last book that I read, because I do not want someone to ruin that book for me. I am trying so hard to avoid spoilers for all 4 of these books before I get to them. That's why I'm trying to read them right now. And I have a feeling if I don't read Reckless, as soon as it is in my hands, someone is going to spoil the book. So, very excited for all of these. I will come back and update you all once I've made it a little bit into A Novel Love Story. So I wanted to update everyone on A Novel Love Story before I go to work today. I'm about 200 pages in, and I'm enjoying this so far. I've been trying to avoid looking at other people's spoilers and looking at like the Goodreads reviews and everything. I did see the rating on Goodreads just because I added it to my currently reading, so I did see that. And I know not everybody loves this as much as The 7-Year Slip. I don't love it as much as The 7-Year Slip. It's not giving me the same feelings, but I'm still enjoying it. We have our main character, Eileen. She goes by Elsie. She gets stranded in this town on her way to a retreat with her book club, and her like car breaks down. She can't get out of this town, so she's there the one night, and this guy, Anderson, decides to let her sleep in the loft above his bookshop because she has no other place to stay, and she's slowly meeting everybody in the town, and the next morning is kind of when she realized that this is the town from her book series that she like loves, and that actually brought her book club together. And it was an unfinished series because the author actually died before the 5th book came out, and then she's finding that this town's kind of stuck because of that. That's what she keeps discovering, is things are happening that aren't canon with the books, and that's making her question like what's going on. And Anderson's the only one that seems to be aware of the fact that they're in the book town. We don't know why. But everyone else is just living their life. They don't understand that they're like isolated from the world, and they can't, I don't think, leave the town. I don't know how that works, but he's the only one that's like aware that she's an outsider and she's in this town that's based on a book. So She's slowly coming to terms with the fact that something needs to happen in order to get everything back on track and get everybody's lives back on track. And she's trying to figure out what the author wanted with the final book. Looking at the characters and what's going on, trying to figure out where that book was supposed to go. That's about all I have. And obviously there's a love story, because it's called a novel love story. So I'm enjoying it. It's cute. It, again, isn't giving me the same, like, I had such strong feelings towards the characters in The 7 Year Slip. I don't know, not many books give me that feeling, so I wasn't expecting to love this as much as The 7 Year Slip, but I am enjoying it. So I'm gonna head out. I will continue reading this at work. I will get probably pretty far. I will be finishing this today because I only have like 150 pages left, but I will update you guys later. All right, so I finished a novel love story, and first book of this vlog, 4.5 stars. And I went back and forth with this a lot on what I thought I would rate it, because I made the mistake of kind of starting to look at like people reviewing it on videos. I didn't watch the videos, but like little parts of their thumbnails that said that maybe they were disappointed in this, or like ratings in general. And I saw the rating on Goodreads, and you know what? I enjoyed this book. I love Ashley Poston's writing. It is just so magical, and it is magical realism. You do have to let go of reality a little to really enjoy the book, but I loved the characters. The story was so whimsical and adorable, and I just felt happy reading it. And to me, that's a 4.5 star read. It was not a 5 star. It was not The 7 Year Slip, which I'm not sure when I'll find another romance that makes me feel that way. But I also enjoyed it more than The Dead Romantics, which I really liked, and I think I gave that a 4. So I think this thoroughly deserves a 4.5. I loved this little town in this book, and the people and the characters, and just like the overall theme in the underlying arc of the story, which I can't go into or I'll spoil it, but it was a beautiful story. So fun, so whimsical. Her writing is just magical to me. So you know what? 4.5 stars. I don't care. I gotta stop letting other people's opinions. This is why I hate reading new releases right after other people haven't started making their opinions, because I feel like a little pressure to agree with them, and I shouldn't. But I got a little Amazon package today. It is July 1st, Monday, July 1st. And Amazon gave me a little early present for the 4th of July. And they sent me Reckless a day early. So I'm probably gonna stay up and read this whole book tonight, because I don't want this ruined for me, and I would love to read it before it actually releases. So this is my evening. I thought I was gonna have to go into like Leather and Lark or Love Unwritten, because I wasn't gonna have this, and then I got the alert that said this was out for delivery today, and it just made my day go so much better. So this will be the next book I read, and I will update you all with just reactions, nothing about the story, and I have high hopes for this one as well. All of the books in this vlog I have very high hopes for. So off to a good start with a 4.5 on a novel love story. I'll see you in a bit. Miss Lauren Roberts, ma'am, what are you doing to me? I knew this book would be good, but I am like speechless right now after what I just read. I'm right at like the 100-page mark, and the last chapter was absolute perfection. Absolutely perfect. I have all the feelings. She writes Peyton and Kai and their encounters so well. And obviously the dynamic has shifted in this book based on what happened at the end of the last book, but it's still perfect. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. I don't want to put it down, but I have to shower. But then I'm going to read it more. 200 pages in, and I just want to like cry right now. She's killing me. I didn't think this was going to be as good as the first book, but so far it's better. And I'm like about to cry, so I'm going to have to stop talking. I'm probably not going to finish this tonight because I'm already tired and there's still like 170 pages left, but I will be finishing this up early tomorrow. I also don't want it to be over because I don't know when the third book's coming out. Hey everyone, finished Reckless today, and let me tell you, this is better than Powerless. This book was phenomenal. She wrote Kai so well in this book. There were literally moments where I was just speechless with what he said. Obviously, I know he's a fictional character, okay? I know it's a woman writing him, so of course he's wonderful, but she just writes her book boys so well. And we got, I don't think it's a spoiler because it doesn't mean anything, but we also got Kit's point of view in this. So we had 3. I didn't remember his in the first book. I always thought it was just Peyton and Kai, but I could be wrong. But we got Kit in here too. I could be wrong. I don't remember. But 5 stars, 5 freaking stars. And I am now not well because I don't know when the third and final book is coming out. And this ending was more, it wasn't as much of a cliffhanger as the first one, but it was definitely more heartbreaking than the first one, I think. So stay tuned for whenever that's announced. And next, I'm going to pick up Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in her Lakefront Billionaire series, and this follows Raphael and Ellie. And I believe it is a nanny, single dad, and there's like a trip involved because there's actually like a cute little packing list in the beginning. So they must be going to Hawaii. So I'm excited to start this. I love Lauren Asher. I have read her Dreamland Billionaires and then obviously Love Redesigned. I have not read her F1, the Dirty Air series. I have not read that yet. Maybe I will, but I want to get through this book first and I have many other books to get through. So I will touch base when I've read some of that. Real quick update. I got just under 200 pages into this last night and I kept hearing people say that like there were parts of this book that made them cry and I was like, I don't understand where that's coming from until I started reading it again and remembered what we learned about Raphael's son in the first book. And that's what's gonna get me. So there's nothing on the back about it, but if you've read the first book, you should know about what Nico's dealing with. And that's the sad part. And I feel like that's gonna rip me apart at some point. And so far, the bickering between them is really funny because of something that happens at the beginning of the book. Like they pretend to hate each other. You know they don't actually hate each other because you get both of their point of views. But for some reason, they're like pretending because they don't want to admit their feelings, you know, miscommunication, all that fun stuff. But we're getting, I think where I ended, they're on the plane to go on the trip. So getting interesting now. I'm just gonna continue reading because this is a reading vlog and that's what we do. And I will update with you guys later. I'm excited because today's my last day because it's the 4th of July week. So I get to go, I hope we get to leave early today, but I don't know if we will. But anyway, I have 2 more days off this week and then the weekend. And I think I'm gonna do a 24-hour reading vlog. So keep your eye out for that because I'll probably put this out first. But I'm trying to get a lot of books off my TBR. And that's a really good way to do some of the shorter ones. So I'll talk to you guys later. All right, so last update before I finish. I have about 200 pages left and I'm still enjoying this. I don't know that I'm liking it as much as I liked the first one, but this is just like a deeper book. There's a lot of like trauma that they're unpacking. And like I said, there's the situation with his son, Nico, that's just sad. So that might be why I'm a little like bummed. I mean, I am a little bummed reading it and that's not what I like when I read a romance. I like it being happy. And I know it's gonna end probably well, but it's draining a little to read because there's a lot of deep trauma that they're unpacking from both of their pasts. So I'm still enjoying it. I like them as a couple. I like that it's actually like a deep story. It's not just like, yes, they're attracted to each other, but they're also working through their trauma together. So there's more to it than just physical attraction. So that's good. But I'm not disliking it, but it's just definitely like it's got a lot of tough topics in it. I definitely would read, I don't know if there's trigger warnings in the front of this. Yeah, there's like a content warning at the beginning to like scan, and I probably would because there's a lot in here that I think could bother people. So that's where I am. So I'm done with Love Unwritten, and I did enjoy this. Again, not as much as the first one. I really loved Dahlia and Julian in the first book. I don't know why that one just hit a little bit harder for me. This was still a really good story. I still love this couple. Just like I said though, there was a lot more depth to this story, which was nice. It was more of like it wasn't just a fluffy romance. So I did enjoy that. I enjoyed the like adult way that they dealt with their trauma together. And this book followed like a little bit different than like your typical romance story arc. Like we didn't really have like the same flow that the story arcs usually have in a romance, which was refreshing, but they just dealt with a lot of crap the entire time. And instead of like it being all fairy tales and butterflies and rainbows and then having that problem and then being fine, they just kind of dealt with their issues throughout, which was nice. Enjoyed it. Looking forward to the third book, which I think is Lily and Lorenzo's fake engagement. So that will probably be great because I have a feeling I'm gonna like Lorenzo being the main male character because that's the kind of guy that I usually like, is the main leads, the ones that kind of cause the problems, kick up the dirt, stuff like that. So on to the final book of the vlog, which is Leather and Lark, which is ironically the book I've had the longest out of these four. Brent Weaver's second book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. This is a marriage of convenience between Lachlan and Lark, and I'm looking forward to seeing if this holds up to how much I liked Butcher and Blackbird. We will see. I'm a little scared. I'm hoping it wasn't like a one-hit wonder kind of thing. And I really haven't seen anybody review this one yet, so I'm interested. I haven't seen anybody really review any of these books because I tried to read them pretty quickly after they came out. But looking forward to seeing if this is as good as the last one. All right, so I read about 150 pages of Leather and Lark so far, and I'm enjoying it, but it's not, I don't think, as good as Butcher and Blackbird in my opinion, at least so far. We start the book off like, I think the first like 100 pages or so is over the course of like a year and a half, maybe longer, because we start the book with when they first met and they don't actually know who the other is, and then we jump to like a situation where like Sloane and Rowan are having a party and they're both there, and that's how we realize their connection. That's how they realize their connection, and that they had already previously met. And then jump ahead again to where the proposal is made for the marriage of convenience. And that's kind of where I am. A little bit further than that, we're finding out a lot about, I want to say more Lark's background and like why she is the way she is and what she does. And it's a little, I don't know that it's more vulgar than Butcher and Blackbird. I don't think it is. She's a little bit more, I would say, unhinged than Sloane was from what I remember. It's been a while since I read Butcher and Blackbird, but not in like a bad way. It's just, I think that there's a lot more driving her. And if you read the book, you'll understand more of that. And then Lachlan's in this position where he's a contract killer and why he's in the situation that he is with his boss. So I'm enjoying it. It's definitely not, I feel like Butcher and Blackbird was spicier, but maybe it didn't happen till later. I actually don't think it did happen till later on. So maybe we're not there yet. So far, it's not really a spicy book. It's just building up the background of them. There's a lot more to their backgrounds and their connections and where we are than I think there was in Butcher and Blackbird. So it's a little bit more of a complex buildup. I think Lark's hilarious. She's unhinged to a point where it's funny, and like nobody really understands like how unhinged she is. And that's the funniest part of it, is that we're seeing her do what she does. So they think she's all this like fun, happy girl, but it's not really the case. So as that comes more and more apparent to everybody, I think that's going to be hilarious. But that part is enjoyable. I do think I'm liking Lark a little more than Sloane, because Lark's giving, the best way I can describe it is like Who's Afraid of Little Old Me vibes. So that's fun. But I'm going to continue on, obviously. I fear that I am on the edge of a book slump just because I've read so many anticipated releases back to back to back. Last vlog into this vlog. But I don't like to let myself get to that point, so we'll see. To me, a book slump is a state of mind. Like, you can talk yourself out of it. That's probably not true, but that's just how my brain thinks about it. So I'm going to continue reading. I hope it doesn't affect my actual rating of this book, but I'm enjoying it, so I don't think it is. I'm tired because I've just had a lot going on in life, so getting through books is taking me a little bit longer. But I'm so excited to read it that I don't want to not, if that makes sense. So I'll continue on, and I will come back later today with more of an update. All right, so time to wrap up the vlog. I just finished Leather and Lark, and it wasn't as good as Butcher and Blackbird. To me, I didn't connect with the couple as well, and it wasn't like as much of a romance, I think, until like the last 20-30% of the book. The beginning was a lot of buildup of the underlying, there was like a mystery underlying story that was going on in the background with Lark's family. And that's what most of the book was about, building up to that point and them making deals with people. It wasn't really about the relationship too much until the end. So that, I think, is why I didn't enjoy it as much. I did like the last part of it. I did like the characters, but as a romance novel, it just didn't hit as hard as Butcher and Blackbird did. Still enjoyed it. It's probably like a 3.5, 3.75. Not nearly as high as I rated Butcher and Blackbird, but I still will be reading, I think it's Sparrow and Scythe, or Scythe and Sparrow, which is the third book that comes out, because that is going to be Fionn and Rose, and I'm very excited for that book. Before that, I read Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher, and this book was, again, not as good for me as Love Redesigned, which was the first book in this interconnected standalone series, but I still enjoyed it. It was more of a slow burn. I'd say both of these last two books, Leather and Lark and this, were more slow burn than their predecessors. I still enjoyed it, but there was more background to the characters and dealing with their traumas than it was a love story to me, but it was still really good. I still really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4.25. It was a 4 or 4.25, I can't remember. But it was still very good. I still really enjoyed it. And I will, again, continue this series. I do enjoy Lauren Asher's books, and they've just been... The thing I like the most about this series is the family dynamics. Not just the main couple in the books, but just the overall way that the family interacts and their feelings about each other and what they do to support each other. And I think the next book, again, is one I'm very excited for, based on the preview, or at least I think what she told you the next book would be in the back. Yeah, there's no name, but it tells you that it's going to be Lillian Lorenzo's story. Very excited for that one. And then the shining star of this vlog was Reckless by Lauren Roberts, the second book in the Powerless trilogy. 5-star read, wonderfully done. Cannot wait for the third book. So upset that I have to wait. I don't even know how long, because I have no idea when the third book's coming out. But I completely devoured this book. The banter between Peyton and Kai was even better in this book than it was in the first. And the feelings that I got reading this book were just unreal. I was speechless so many times. Lauren Roberts just knows how to write a book that people want to read. 5-star read. Starting the second half of the year off with a 5-star read, which is great. And then the final book, which was the first book I read, was A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. Again, I feel like I'm comparing all of these books to other books I've read by the authors, which isn't completely fair, but it didn't hit as hard for me as The 7-Year Slip, but I still really enjoyed this book. It was a 4.5-star read for me. I said previously that you kind of have to let go of reality when you read her books because they are magical realism. There are very real people and real stories going on in them, but there is that whimsical quality to all of her stories, and I love that, and I love her writing, and I just love the worlds that she builds, and I love the characters. And I think that there was a lot of growth for the main character in this book, for Elsie in this book. I connected with that because I think she was someone that's like very unsure of herself and unsure of like what she wants, and she's just trying to be a people pleaser, and it's coming out of her comfort zone and being more comfortable doing and saying what she wants and what she means. So I enjoyed that. And there were a lot of like cute references in this book, not only to like her previous books, but also to like things that I really enjoy. So I did really like that as well. And that is all for this vlog. Since these are all new releases, if you've read them, let me know. Let me know what you think about them. If not, which one are you most excited to read? I think this was a pretty successful vlog. I've had quite a few good new release books that I've read in the past 2 weeks, so I am hoping I don't get put into a book slump because of that, but I'm just going to keep trying to power on through the next few books that I would like to read. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.